In order to supply themselves with cheap cash for their record deficits, the government had the central bank flood lending markets with $400 billion of cash. We now learn that $192 billion of that overflowed into mortgage markets, and a quarter of all mortgages outstanding today are low quality and variable rates highly subjected to increases in interest rates. That has inflated housing prices by a third and created the second biggest housing bubble in the world. Will the Finance Minister admit that Canada has a housing bubble?
The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the Conservatives continue to irresponsibly scaremonger and try to talk down the Canadian economy. But the fact is, our Q3 GDP was 5.4%, beating market expectations and surpassing the U.S., Japan, the U.K., and Australia. We have now recovered 106% of the jobs lost to the COVID recession, compared to just 83% in the U.S. And you know what? In the fall, Moody's and S&P reaffirmed our AAA credit rating.
The Honourable Member for Carleton.
It's always reassuring to have your credit rating backed up by those who said subprime mortgages were rock solid in late 2008. But the question was about Canada's housing bubble. I have asked this minister 8 times now in the House of Commons if we have a housing bubble. Raj wants to know. He's driving Uber in addition to having an IT job in order to save up over the next 15 years in order to make a down payment on a $1 million Brampton home. Canadians deserve to know. Bloomberg has said Canada has the second most inflated housing bubble on planet Earth. So yes or no, will the minister admit, does Canada have a housing bubble?
The Honourable Minister for Housing.
Mr. Speaker, the fact of the matter is it's been a long time since the member opposite has spoken about affordable housing. He's found it fashionable to talk about it. But here's the record. Every time that we've put forward measures in place to help first-time home buyers access affordable housing, help the most vulnerable in our community access permanent housing solutions, help women and children fleeing domestic violence to get rental support, he has voted against those measures, Mr. Speaker.